There's another thing that I observe about your generation of actors. You're still in touch. You all make an effort. You're in touch with your colleagues from that time.
Akshay Khanna's birthday.
Right.
And I just spoke to him and I feel so happy for him. And I always believe that Akshu is an amazing actor.
Between you, your brother, and your dad, who's lived their life fully?
I think my dad.
Yeah.
I think he has lived the way he wanted to. I think the Frank Sinatra song, I Did It My Way, really suits him.
Yeah.
It's like him,
Aashram, now the new season. When you hear these numbers, 32.6 million views. This is a new record. Mirzapur 3 se bhi aage nikal gaya ye.
Mirzapur, I think it's a great show. I feel the actors in Mirzapur are awesome actors.
Yeah.
Prakash ji is one of the biggest reasons why Ek Badnaam Aashram is what it is. He is the heart and soul of it, and that's exactly why the show has achieved what it has achieved.
Are you, Bobby, that guy who'll pick up the phone and tell a director that I want to work with you?
I would do that. Like, I've been wanting to work with so many directors. Sometimes I've called them up, they've never called me back.
Who are those few people who give you feedback and you want their feedback and they give you genuine feedback?
My wife especially, she's like really scrutinizes everything I do.
Okay.
I think she's my biggest critic.
What did your brother say about Animal and Aashram? He recently spoke and he said, I also want to do a negative role like Bobby has done.
It was very tough for me to break out of my image. And my brother has been an icon, nicest Indian living in our film industry. So for him to try to play different shades which are negative, I don't know how comfortable people will be.
Shah Rukh has told me and he said, Bob is my party friend. Like they used to say that.
Shah Rukh is a great guy. He's also a very, very loving, very caring person.
And same for Salman. Salman somehow fits in very well as Dharamji's other son. The love that they share.
Mamu is something else only. Mamu is like a blessing.
What was that for when he told you, will you take off your shirt?
I used to be very shy. I never had a great physique and I always never believed in, to have this bare body sequences and all that. But at that point, I was ready to do anything and everything to get noticed by the audiences. Hi, this is Bobby Deol, and you're watching Bollywood Hungama.
Bobby, welcome to Bollywood Hungama.
Thank you for having me again on Bollywood Hungama.
Right. Bobby, I was just remembering while coming here that I first met you in 2002 in Lonavala when you were shooting for Hamraz. And that time you all used to call all the media. Do you miss those times?
Yeah, I guess times have to change, It's, that's why we have this word called memories. And why? Because some of them are good, some of them are bad. And, you cherish some and things have to change, things have to evolve. And I guess we grew, I came into the industry like 30 years ago and things were different. So things have changed now, but then we have to move with time. But yeah, you and me, you've been there since so long and look where we both have reached in our careers, So it's just amazing, the love, the connection we made around that time, I think kept us relevant even till today.
Right. Do you miss those times, or of course you have adjusted very well to these times, but do you miss wo time pe kuch set pe kuch aur baat thi?
See, it was no mobile phones existed. Everybody spoke to each other more often. Everyone sat together more often. Everybody's now having meetings or checking their mobile phones, or they're always busy with their own mobile phone and themselves. At that point everybody would sit together, would be always chatting, and but that had to happen. That's just the way technology has done good and bad to us. So it changes, things change.
Right. There's another thing that I observe about your generation of actors. You're still in touch. You all make an effort. You're in touch with your colleagues from that time.
Well, kind of. Akshay Khanna's birthday.
Right.
And I just spoke to him and I feel so happy for him. Because for him also, he's a very aloof kind of person. He stays up to himself. But to achieve the success with Shava, it was the best thing that can happen to someone like him, who doesn't go around much trying to promote himself. And I always believe that Akshu is an amazing actor. And just felt so happy, that, I was like talking to him on the phone and I told him, I said, it's like you want to pinch yourself. Has this really happened, Because after Animal, that's what I felt. Has it really happened? So it feels nice that, people you know, people you have worked with, and shared some great times together are succeeding in life.
Right. If we see him and if we see you and what happened to him in Chava and what happened to you in Animal, एक चीज lesson तो ये है कि hope नहीं खोना चाहिए.
I guess, I mean, it's I feel that no one should give up on themselves because God has given us all a special gift. Someday that gift will come handy. Someday you will realize what your capabilities are, and someday people will realize the capabilities you have. So you can't give up.
Yeah.
Nobody's life story is perfect.
Yeah.
You go through your ups and downs. You need to just stay strong. It is not easy. I mean, I'm talking about it,
Yeah.
and I'm saying that you have to stay strong. But what keeps you uh, relaxed in certain ways is the discipline you try to maintain. Because when you're disciplined, your thought process is more clear.
Right.
You can get up in the morning and feel that yes, I can conquer the world. Otherwise, if you're not disciplined, you just expect to just not look after yourself. Don't have things organized in the sense how you live your life.
Yeah.
Then you kind of बिखर जाता है इंसान. पर अगर आप उसको maintain करो, you keep it all together, then you will be ready to face anyone coming towards you, coming for work, and you'll be ready to take on the challenge.
Yeah, but there are few things in mind, like health is something that you've always taken care of your health. These are the things that you made sure कि I'll not mess with this.
See, I think health is important for every individual living in this world. I think no matter what profession you are, if you're not healthy, obviously there are certain genetic issues which everybody has, which become an issue in your life and create all those things. But if you take care of your health otherwise, on the whole, then even those issues can be handled in a better way.
Yeah, yeah.
I think everybody should. You want to enjoy your life, it's not by just partying every day or eating the wrong food, or you can do everything, but just do it in the proper way.
Yeah, that's a good message. And do everything, experience everything in moderately, but खुद सबको experience करना चाहिए.
You have to live life, man.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you just? It's like putting yourself in a prison and just being locked up from the worldly pleasures, which are so tempting.
Yeah.
But there are certain sacrifices which each and everyone has to make to achieve what they want in life, and that's the sad. I mean, it's not a sad part. It's actually important. I mean, we make sacrifice sound so dramatic, but I think it is something which we all have to do in our lives. You have done it. So we all have done.
Right. We are sitting in your house. Between you, your brother, and your dad, who's lived their life fully?
I think my dad.
Yeah.
I think he has lived the way he wanted to. I think the Frank Sinatra song, I Did It My Way, really suits him.
Yeah.
It's like him,
Right. Where we are sitting, so many people come outside this door on his birthday, your birthday, Sunny's birthday. Even today, we've seen these videos on, perhaps I was sitting and I was seeing these collages that they make and they get a photograph. Bobby, what keeps them connected to the Deols even today?
It's just the way my dad has been from the word go when he started his work, when he entered this industry. The kind of human being my dad is, he has never met people as if a star is meeting somebody. He's always met people as a human being, as a normal person would. And he's connected with them, He has done so much with so many people. But a lot of people do a lot, but he's been very genuine about it and from the heart. And I think that's the reason why the love for the Deols has existed even till date. It's like people just love us, they give us so much love, so much respect, and it's all thanks to him.
Yeah. One thing I have to say, I've met him so many times and I've interviewed him also right here in this room. He doesn't change. He's exactly how he was and he'll take care. He'll say small things, kuch kha ke jana, kuch pee ke jana. He'll take care. Someone who started at that time, उनके आसपास इतने लोग थे जो उनको literally used to say, you are a rock star. But he never got carried away. How?
I've seen my dad being surrounded with people who made him make him believe they made a bubble around him, that he's something special. But that's one thing I learned from my dad, that he never got carried away with what people made him feel about himself. He's always stayed grounded and true to himself, true to what is around him. And That's why he has existed for so many years in this industry. I
Yeah.
mean, he's had the same love and demand till date by every individual out there watching him. You
Yeah.
know,
And you both are such a good reflection of that. You're like,
it's the upbringing. It's not just my dad's contribution.
it's your mom's.
I think it's my
Yeah.
mother's. It's my grandmother. My then after I got married, it's been my wife who has really, really, been there, stood right next to me through good times and bad times. And it's just how my mother stood by my dad, you know. And for me, I think that is my biggest strength is my wife, Tanya.
Yeah.
She has believed in me. She's always told me that, you know, that you're special. And I mean, yes, every wife thinks their husband is special, but the way she has handled me in all these years, I I always say that whatever today I am, it began with what my father has done for me, but how I withstood all the trauma of giving up and everything, it's all because of my wife.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing, and you both absolutely deserve each other. I was sitting in this drawing room many years ago when one of your films was coming, and you at that time built a body, and your dad was showing us the photo, saying, "Ye dekho." Like, he was so proud that, see what body my son has made. Do you see this also being passed on to the next generation, the way you guys are?
I have seen to it that my kids, like I was very protected. I was the youngest, and I
Yeah.
was brought up in a very sheltered, very, very close environment in that sense, and I was never made to see or face the world. But I am trying really hard with my boys.
Yeah.
I've put them out there. They are working as assistants to directors and photographers because it's all about understanding how the world works, how people in our profession are, and to face the good and the ugly and the bad, and understand that nothing is perfect out there.
Yeah.
Because when you live in a house where you're protected all the time, you kind of feel everything's going to be hunky dory and everything's going to be fine, but it's never like that. And my kids, both my boys, are working really hard, and touch wood, I don't have to force them. I think they've seen their father go through ups and downs and how I've bounced back and how hard I've worked. And parents always set an example for you.
Yeah.
And for me, my biggest example or my role model has been my father.
Your father.
So I think that is something that I feel really great to see both my boys, really working hard.
Wow, you already sound so proud, and it's amazing the way they're
I mean,
going.
they've just begun. I mean,
Yeah.
this is where you lay your foundations, where you have to start working hard. If you don't start from the word go, and if you don't create that fire in your belly to want to achieve, you'll never be able to have that drive to move forward.
Yeah. So true. Coming to your work, Ashram, now the new season, when you hear these numbers, 32.6 million views, this is a new record. Mirzapur 3 se bhi aage nikal gaya ye. Do you see every season growing? Like,
I've seen all the shows. I've seen Mirzapur. I think it's a great show. I feel the actors in Mirzapur are awesome actors.
yeah,
It's just it's nice to see that there's so many shows which have got so much of viewership.
yeah, true,
I mean, yeah, these are just numbers, but yeah, obviously, when you get the gold medal, you feel happiest. I mean, winning a bronze medal is an achievement.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I'm really happy. I feel Prakash ji is one of the main biggest reasons why Ek Badnaam Ashram is what it is.
yeah,
He is the heart and soul of it, and then he chose all of us with his gut instincts. All the actors in the show were his choices because he could see that he could bring out his story through these actors, and that's exactly why the show has achieved what it has achieved.
right.
Every character, every actor in the show has a fan following.
That's so
You
true.
know,
Yeah.
so that's amazing.
You're right. Yeah. You're
It's not just me alone.
Bilkul, yeah.
It's all of us. It's a combined effort, and In fact, that makes it even more special for me that Ashram is loved so much.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I have spent so much time with all these actors, and they're such lovely human beings, and such lovely people, and so hardworking. I've heard their stories of their struggles,
Yeah.
and I think that's why the show becomes even more special to me.
I interviewed Aditi Pohankar also. She was speaking, saying such nice things about you. And so you're right. All of them have a following. I'm going one by one and interviewing each one. Right. Is it true you met Prakash ji during Gupt or before Gupt?
Yes, I was actually dubbing at BR Studios. They had their dubbing
Yeah.
theater, and I remember meeting him. I was just dubbing for Gupt,
Oh, no.
and he was just there for some work, and I don't know, I still remember that moment.
Yeah.
Usually your memory, you can't remember everything, but that's one day I remember, and he just told me, "You're a very good looking boy. I wish you the best." I said, "Thank you, sir." And then we met after that, and he wanted to work with me, but things never worked out.
Uh,
I guess I had to wait for 30, 28
yeah.
years or so to actually work with him because Ashram was what we were meant to do
Yeah.
together.
What you all were meant to do. But also when you went to meet him, did you know what role he's giving
No,
you?
I didn't. I just was excited that because I was going through that period in my career where I wasn't getting great offers, great characters. So for me, just meeting Prakash ji, who I was a big fan of his work, I mean, I knew that something nice only would be offered. And when I met him, I didn't expect what I was going to be offered, but I guess that was then and this is now.
Right. In between, it's hard to believe you all met there. Then all these years you all didn't work. You all come together, make a legendary show once again. In all these years, are you, Bobby, that guy who'll pick up the phone and tell a director that I want to work with you?
I would
You
do
would.
that. Like I've been wanting to work with so many directors. Sometimes I've called them up. They've never called me back. But it happens, and now I laugh
You
about
laugh
this.
about it, yeah.
I'm like, मैंने कितने फोन किए, इतने अच्छे अच्छे excuses बनाते हैं, फिर कहीं by mistake कहीं मिल जाते हैं आपसे. नहीं, मैं करने वाला था फोन, वो पता क्या, मैं यहाँ चला गया. There was some medical issue that happened with some member or something. I'm like, it's okay, no worries.
But you're laughing about it now. But that time, what was it? Would you get angry that they don't return your call?
No, I didn't. It's like I came to terms with the fact that when people need you, they'll come to you. But you have to work hard on yourself so that you can attract people to want to work with you.
Ultimately, it's that.
Because I was very successful when I began my career. I had become a star. My career took off in a big way. So I did create an impact with the audiences, with my industry. But it all fizzled out. But I knew that, okay, they've seen my work. And there is something about me. Only if I put more effort in myself that they'll want to work with me.
Right. So, you and I did an interview post Animal right here. So the lesson is basically nothing speaks like success.
I think it's hard work. It's your works that speaks for you. It's not about just success. How do you achieve success? It's when your work speaks for you and you get work which one day might succeed or fail, you don't know. But that's exactly what's happened with me. I mean, I think OTT platform is the best thing that's happened to me.
Yeah.
I've done some really interesting work on OTT platform, which is away from my personality. And that spoke for me. In fact, recently I got a film because someone saw Love Hostel.
Oh, wow.
And they never thought that, okay, they could use me as this character. But when they saw Love Hostel, they saw the way I played Dagar's character. They said, no, we can take Bobby for this role.
Right.
And that's how I got this one film.
Wow.
Even the same thing with Aashram. People saw Aashram and it made an effect on people's minds. It made them think, okay, Bobby can play this, He has that kind of
So
range.
different, yeah, so different.
But it all started with Class of '83. I think that's one of my... always your first OTT or first movie is always special. Like Barsat for me will always be special. For me, Class of '83 will always be special.
Yeah, first.
Because that was my first OTT film and it was something I really enjoyed because I was, for the first time, given an opportunity to play something away from my personality. So...
Bobby, who are those few people who give you feedback and you want their feedback and they give you genuine feedback?
Everybody has... When something has worked, is when people call you up and tell you that this is really good.
Good, right,
When people don't call you, that means
That's-
something went wrong. So
yeah.
that's kind of a feedback in its own way,
right.
right?
That's true.
And then my sons and my kid, my wife especially, she's like really scrutinizes everything I do.
Okay.
For her, it's like everything I wear, I eat, the way I speak, the way I behave, everything is her concern for her. And I think she's my biggest critic.
Ah.
Though she is not so well versed with movie making or with how
Yeah.
stories are written, and but yet when it comes to my performances, she knows exactly. And I feel anyone who's even not knows much about filmmaking, when they actually see a film and if your character makes an impact, that means it's worked.
Right. Will you ask her before, if you're confused, ye karu, nahi karu, will you ask her? Does she tell you genuinely she would like to see you in these avatars?
Like, I knew when I met Prakashji for Ashram, I knew the kind of subject it was.
Ah.
And the only person who I really wanted to ask and for permission, in the sense that, we are actors, we are playing characters, we're not really living that in our real lives, was my wife.
Right.
I didn't ask my dad, my brother, my mother. I asked my wife. I said, this is the kind of character.
Ah.
And there will be, moments in this which are a little adult in that sense. Because she has been with me throughout my journey of my career, she knew exactly what I was trying to do. And she just said, Bob, you believe in it, go and do it.
Amazing.
You're an actor. You want to change your image. You want to do so much with yourself as an actor. I'm with you. That's all I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And it's the most amazing and genuine story. It's not like something made to titillate the audience or something
No,
like
I
that.
know it's not that. It's just, for me, it was the first time
Yeah.
I was playing a negative character to that level. So, somewhere, even when I was shooting for the scenes,
Huh.
when I had those very evil scenes in the film, in a couple of times, I felt a little disgusted with myself. But by the evening, I used to be fine because I would be sitting with the same actors and chatting, eating dinner. But it does play on your mind. But it's not like, oh, I'm stuck with that whole thing. I have to go to I have to actually go to some place and meditate and become normal again. It's not like that.
It's not like that's true. But you said you didn't tell your dad and brother at that time. What did they see when they saw Ashram? What did they
Even
say?
yesterday, I was sitting with my dad.
हाँ.
He says, मुझे इतने फोन आते हैं, लेडीज के फोन आते हैं कि आपका बेटा इतना प्यारा है इस शो में.
So sweet, yeah.
So imagine.
Yeah, that's true.
It was just yesterday night I was sitting with my dad and he was talking about how proud he is of me and how happy he is to see where I've reached. And for me also, because I wanted to be able to succeed in my career and I wanted him to see it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
For me, that was the most important thing. I wanted my parents to see me achieve success in my career because they saw me start that way, but then I went through a bad phase. But I wanted my dad, he's 89, and I wanted him to see that your son has worked hard and he's reached where he has.
Right. He's the youngest 89-year-old we know.
He is.
And what did your brother say about Animal and Ashram? Because he recently spoke and he said, I also want to do a negative role like Bobby has done.
See, the whole thing is, it was very tough for me to break out of my image. And my brother has been an icon in the sense of being the toughest and the nicest Indian living in our film industry. So for him to try to play different shades which are negative, I don't know how comfortable people will be. As he said, if they have the guts to do it with me, I am ready to do it. So I think we are actors and we all want to do something
different,
challenging, something which is away from the same characters we get all the time. That's what acting is all about.
Right. Bobby, whenever I talk to other actors, I can see Salman loves you. He really has a soft spot for you. Shah Rukh has told me, and he said, earlier he used to say, Bob is my party friend. Like, they used to say that.
No, I mean, Shah Rukh is a great guy. I've just been more in touch with him recently because somehow we met pretty often, even at the IFAs. And
Right.
so he's also a very, a very loving, very caring person.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's so nice when you reach such stardom and yet you're so amazing as a person.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's one thing, one quality I think every actor who's aiming to start a career should not get lost with all the success and glamour.
Yeah.
A lot of actors get that way.
And same for Salman. Salman somehow fits in very well as Dharamji's other son. The
Yeah,
love that they share.
Mamu is something else. Only Mamu is like a blessing. Honestly, that man is just someone who really, really does. Not just for me. There's so many actors you meet, or they'll all have only good things to speak about him. Because he is just all heart, and he just wants to help everyone he can.
But it's now like that, or was it always like that? There was no competition between you all?
No, I never found competition. I remember when I started my career, before that, I was practicing horse riding and bike stunts and all that on the beach. And his first movie had become a blockbuster. And he would be normal on the beach. He would come and do horse riding and bike stunts with me. And he was like someone who was just really chilled out, That's how I met him.
Right.
Wow. And so he's never been that way. Yeah, you have to be competitive in the sense, how can you be competitive? Is to be disciplined and work hard.
Right.
That's the only way you can be competitive. You cannot go backstabbing people. I don't believe in manipulation. I only believe in manipulating myself health-wise and my discipline and my belief. I need that to be strong, and that's the only way you can achieve any kind of success.
True. What was that for when he told you, will you take off your shirt?
That was for race 3 because
right.
I used to be very shy. I never had a great physique, and I always never believed in, to have this bare body sequences and all that. But at that point, I think I was ready to do anything and everything to get noticed by the audiences.
Now fans don't want to see you with a shirt at all.
वो भी एक problem हो जाती है.
Yeah.
पर
that tip you should take from Salman. He is quite good.
नहीं, पर I try to stay in the character. I don't like to just remove a shirt because I have to remove it. It has to go according to the character.
True. Also working in the South, is there some movie? Is there something that you're shooting, or is there something?
I am doing a film right now.
Okay.
It's a Tamil film. This will be my 4th film. My film came out beginning of this year, and it became a success. It was a massive film. It was only released in Telugu with Balakrishna sir.
Yes.
And Bobby was the director. His name was Bobby. Real sweetheart. And it was a big success, And before that, I did a Tamil film with Surya, which didn't do well at all. But that's what it is. It's some work, some don't. But it's been interesting working in the South. But obviously, your heart is in your Hindi speaking industry, because as an actor, your voice is not dubbed, it's your voice, everything is you. So that makes it, like what you really want to do.
But do you feel welcome there when you go and work there? Is it home?
It is different.
Okay.
Obviously, no one speaks, they all speak either in Tamil or Telugu, so you feel a little alienated. But other than that, the working system is almost the same.
Right.
It's nothing different.
You're just making a film, right? Bobby, we are sitting in this house of yours. How were you born here? How many years? Any childhood memories you can share before we wrap?
Well, this whole house has changed. Where we're sitting right now, where we're sitting exactly, my sisters have got married here.
Oh, wow.
That part behind used to be a gym, but because we were having the marriages, we broke that and made it into an extended hall.
Nice.
That where you entered from, that used to be a badminton court.
Wow.
We used to play badminton every morning.
Right.
The house had a lot of balconies, which were converted into rooms because the family became bigger. So I walked into this house when I was born. So if I'm 56 now, this whole house was being constructed 4 years before that. So it's...
Right. Any news on Animal Park? What is happening?
There's no news as such. Definitely, whenever I have spoken to Sandeep, he keeps saying he's writing.
Yeah.
And obviously, right now he's doing a film with Prabhas, which hasn't started
Yes.
as yet. So that'll take a year or two to finish.
Wow.
And I'm sure it's in the pipelines, but I don't know
When? Yeah.
what it is all about. Or I didn't even know when the first film came out that there was going to be a part two. So I don't know if I'm there or not there, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just like that.
Right. So, Bobby, we have some pictures to show you. You can just share one memory of when this was taken and where this was taken. The best pictures that we found on the internet.
Oh, this is with my Pritam Singh.
Pritam Singh.
This was during Soldier shooting, and I think we were made to stay back a couple of days extra, and we were like homesick.
Huh.
We were shooting a last schedule in New Zealand, and suddenly we were told that Atul Baker is coming
Okay, for photo
to
shoot.
photo shoot, and you have to stay back. We're like, what? But luckily it was Pritam,
Huh.
so we she's like a buddy, and Atul I've known, so
Yeah.
it was just okay. We were having a holiday,
Right.
but we were doing a photo shoot.
Right. If I'm not wrong, Preeti started the first film with you, right?
Yeah,
You were the
because
first person who heard the name Preeti Zinta.
no, she used to party with me a lot. She was a friend's friend.
Okay.
I used to have a van. We used to go out,
Ah.
and she used to be there. And then one day I was at Shekhar's office because I was supposed to work with Shekhar Kapoor, and he was making Tara Rampam, and there was some screen tests. And they said there's a girl who came, Preeti Zinta. We just shot for
Ah.
her screen test. So I said, let me see it,
Huh.
because she used to only talk about becoming a criminal psychologist.
Ye
And when I
kya ho
saw her, this thing, I said, she's pretty good.
gaya? Yeah.
So I told Abbas Bhai Muslim Bhai, you're looking for a new girl. Why don't you think of Preeti? But by then her little ad had just come out.
Ah.
So
So
she became
famous.
so popular.
Yeah.
So that's how it happened.
Wow. This is a picture that we all love. Bobby, you want to see this?
Yeah, this is this was when we were planning to make a film called London,
Oh, wow.
and with Gurinder Chadda, but somehow it didn't shape up the way it had to. Then finally my brother directed the same story, made it Dil Lagi.
Ah.
So we shot for this
Right.
picture then.
Right. This was the guy. I'm a 90s kid. We all wanted to be this guy.
This, oh my God. This was Anna Singh's creation,
Oh my
purple
God.
suit. I think I had just shot for that song, Humko Sirf Tumse Pyar Hai. Was it Humko Sirf Tum? Where I'm walking with a horse.
Okay.
So I had this outfit lying with me.
It's amazing you remember.
And I was with Dabbu Ratnani.
Ah.
He was an assistant that time.
Huh.
And we were just passing by, and this house was being demolished.
Oh.
So we just went and clicked a picture there.
These pictures always steal our heart. Bobby, tell us, like you obviously won't remember, but what does your dad tell you about these pictures?
Oh man, what a handsome man he is.
He is the most handsome man.
This must have been, I think, either I was on an outdoor with him. I don't remember exactly. I was too small.
Sure, here's another one of the similar, but
Yeah, this I remember.
Okay.
Not exactly, but I know this was in Goa. It was my birthday, and we were
Oh.
celebrating my birthday.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do remember a lot. This everybody remembers, so this you don't have to. You can just tell us something that you
This
remember.
was just, as I said, I was too shy to show skin, and my wife started doing my styling by then.
Okay.
And she told me, you have to wear this waistcoat. And Abbas Bhai, Mustan Bhai were like absolutely excited that I have to. They wanted me to wear that because I'm playing a soldier character. His name is Soldier. So, and I remember these glasses. They were Gucci glasses, pretty cool glasses. Now they don't make them so cool, but
Your wife does have that taste. She can totally nail it with your look. Another lovely picture. ये कहाँ की है, कब की है?
this must have been at some family function at some house where we were just. This is, I think, either it was just when we got married or before that. I'm not so sure. But we were as good as married because I met her, and in 2 months we decided to get married.
In 2 months you decided. Wow, that was quick. Yeah, yeah. This is a beautiful picture. And here, we all remember this.
Okay, this is Aur Pyar Ho Gaya.
Aur Pyar Ho Gaya.
This was the longest schedule I've ever been on.
What? How?
Switzerland.
How
Oh
long
my
was-
God. I was dying to see Switzerland, dying to see Switzerland. After I finished shooting for this film, I said, I'm never going back to Switzerland. And I went many times back for many other films. But again,
Long means उस जमाने में क्या long schedule? How long is
3 months
long?
almost.
3 months
Yeah.
you would say. My God.
So this was during that time.
Wow, 3 months and that was one schedule only. Then
Yeah,
you'll
one
come back and
schedule.
continue.
Then we shot in Bombay also.
Wow. Yeah, good times have changed here. Just two more. Yeah.
Yeah, this was I think either in Ooty or Manali.
Hmm.
And I think, I remember, I still have the jacket. You can't see the jacket.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I still have this jacket and I gave it to my younger son.
Okay. Wow.
And the purple sunglasses I wore, I gave them to my older son.
Hmm.
So I have mementos. I have these which I wanted to share with my kids. So
Beautiful mementos. Yeah. Here, this one. Where is this?
this is again Goa, the same time.
Same party. Yeah,
Birthday
yeah.
party. Yeah.
And this is the most iconic photo of the most handsome man ever.
This is. I come back from school. My dad asks me, "एक role है मेरे बचपन का तू करेगा?" And when you're that age, I must have been 5 or 6 years old. And I was like, हाँ मैं करूँगा, because you don't have inhibitions.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So they made my outfit overnight, and next day I was shooting.
You were confident on
I
enjoying
was like,
yourself.
I even dubbed for the film.
Wow.
I only had one dialogue, ये बात है बाबा तो ये लो. And I went and dubbed for it also. So
Too good, Bobby. Too good. You know, it's such a pleasure to sit here and chat with you. Before I go, you know, there's a generation out there trying to become actors. One thing that they should learn from the Deols, mainly from Dharamji, that what is that one thing in this house also he has had the longest career. There's something that they should learn from him.
I think it's not everybody who can achieve so much in life.
Sure.
So that doesn't mean that you only aim to achieve so much in your life.
Correct.
You need to work hard, and you will achieve. Maybe you have bigger goals and ambitions, but even if you don't achieve them, but you move towards them, the closest you can get to that should make you happy. You can never be satisfied, but at least you work towards reaching that goal. But who knows who reaches till that level? Because if you really see our industry, not everybody reaches there.
Yeah.
You know, but what is important is to be working every day, getting up and getting great characters to play. You know, I think there are so many great actors who are getting these opportunities now.
Yeah.
So I think that makes. What you? I mean, it's not about just being a star. It's about being an actor who wants to do characters which are so different every time he goes in front of the camera. I think that's what they should focus and look into.
Right, right. Thank you very much, Bobby. We love you and thank you so much for all the entertainment that you and your family have provided us all these years.
Thank you, dude. Hi, this is Bobby Deol, and you're watching Bollywood Hungama.